Welcome to another edition of the Arms Bumanlag Project, coming to you live from Amherstburg, Ontario. Hey, folks, happy Friday. It's Arms Bumanlag. This is episode 8. Believe it or not, here we are, July already, and it's glad tide seasons to have you part of the broadcast today. We got a couple of great guests that are going to be joining me in just a few moments here on the show. But as we usually do here on the program, we recap what we've been doing and who we've been talking to. And I'm really excited to announce, before we bring on my musical guests this evening, some fantastic partnerships that we've been forming here in the Windsor Essex area for not one, but two amazing groups that are near and dear to my family's heart. First of all, we want to talk about some brand new swag. We've got mugs up for sale. You can show support for this show, the Arms Bumanlag Project, crafted by Divinal Designs. $20 a mug, and those are going to be benefiting the Windsor Essex County Humane Society and the Ronald McDonald House. Mike Teeves, last week's guest, funny guy. The show is up online on YouTube, and you can also listen to the podcast on Spotify, and I'm so pumped. Next week, Adriano Chodoli, my brother from another mother, is going to be on the show jamming with me. We got lots to catch up with Adriano. You might remember him from our time on Arms Eats on CTV Windsor. Adriano's been doing a lot of pivoting over the last year and a half because of the global pandemic. And we're going to talk to him about that and the state of tourism here in Windsor Essex and what he's been up to over the last year and a half or so. So I've got a couple of great folks to introduce to you tonight. It's going to be a real fun show. We want you to comment. We want you to let us know about any questions you might have for my guests. And our guests are musical stars in their own right here in the Windsor Essex area and really around North America and right here in Canada as well. She has vocals that are reminiscent of Billie Holiday and Norah Jones, and they certainly shine amidst the purr of her Fender electric guitar. I was always very impressed with her songwriting and musical ability, getting to know her over the years through various fundraisers in Windsor Essex. And her songs reveal a decade of experience, first gained as a young girl growing up in Atlantic, Canada. She's got 13 million listens on Spotify. She has a song placement in the ABC TV show Nashville, national reputation as an emerging artist to watch. CBC Radio says that she's earning her place among Canada's greatest pop singers and songwriters. She's one of my guests on the live stream tonight. Crissi Cochrane is going to join us in just a few moments. And he's born and raised a riverbank away from the birthplace of Motown. You guessed it, South Detroit, Windsor. He's a prolific Canadian singer-songwriter, a lifetime of immersion in classic soul and R&B music, over a decade of experience crafting and performing intelligent, compelling songs, continues to redefine the sound of Canadian independent music, and he's one hell of a guy to work with. I had a chance to work with him closely at CBC Windsor. Joining us on the show, Mike Hargraves and Crissi Cochrane on the Arms Bumanlag Report. Hey, what's going on, folks? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure to have you both on the show, and thank you for spending some time with us on today's program. First of all, how are you guys holding up in the midst of this global pandemic? I know I've been following a lot of the coverage on you guys, and we've got lots to talk about on that, about what musicians have been going through. But Mike, let's start with you. How are things going, sir?
Good. Lots of projects on the go. The last summer we didn't focus on our garden at all. We kind of let the grass grow long and things like that. But this year we're really like taking care of our house and getting all kinds of little projects on the go. And we really can't wait for music to come back, though. That's what we love to do.
Yeah, it's the passion for you guys too, right? And Crissi, I think, being, new parents too, that has to throw something into the mix, right? I mean, you're doing the parenthood thing like I think many of us are.
Yes, parenting in a pandemic, it's expert level stuff for sure.
How have you guys been coping with that too? I mean, you guys have to be proud. It looks very, very healthy and very happy.
Yeah, no, our daughter is doing really well, and we're really happy that she doesn't seem like she's missing anything really. And neither are we. We're with her every minute, and it's just amazing. I feel like we've got a really great bond because of all the time that we've spent together over the last year and a half.
And that's really the blessing, I think, right? In the pandemic with this, I think a lot of folks who are able to do the work from home or have young kids, they've been able to, I guess, prioritize that family connection, right? Because I think for as long as tired as we are as parents, I think it comes to a point where you have to kind of set yourself back from that and then say, these kids are not going to be this small forever. And then you're going to be fighting for them to stay home, right? They're going to want to go out. It goes by like this, just like this.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, she just turned 3 and it's blown by. If you want to watch time just evaporate, watch a small child grow, they change so much week to week. And 3 years when you didn't have kids, not that much would change necessarily, but makes a huge difference when you have a little one in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I certainly don't mind spending the extra amount of time with her right now. Like we kind of feel like it's a guilty pleasure that we get to keep her all to ourselves.
Yeah, we get to hog her.
And do a lot of, like, I'm sure the live streaming with Dad, right? Dad commenting here from Nova Scotia. That's got to be important, especially to have those connections through the pandemic, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're really happy that FaceTime is a thing and that we're able to, see each other's faces and not just be stuck with phone calls. And it makes it a lot more real. And we've been doing a lot of just like live streams of our music. And it's always nice to get to know that my family can attend all of my shows for once. So that's cool too.
Yeah, I actually caught some of those too, that what you guys have been doing online. And I got to say, like, you always wonder, like, how musicians, and God knows I'm not musically inclined at all, right? So I have, like, the utmost respect for the two of you and the talent that you guys have, because it is a God-given skill and talent that you guys have. But it's one thing, right, to perform in front of a live audience. And then it's one thing to do something virtually live where you've got an audience that is not necessarily in front of you, but maybe hundreds of thousands maybe watching after the fact too. Tell me about the differences in terms of performing on a live stream versus, which, I know that you guys are slowly getting back to, is doing the stuff in person.
I can take that. I feel like when you're getting to new ears online, it's always in these short little 15-second sort of bursts. You're like, you have to present yourself in the best 5 seconds you can when you're getting to new ears online. And then when you're doing like a live stream concert where it's like a longer format thing online, it seems like it's mostly going to the people that are already like in your circle and fan base. And so it's a little different. Whereas when you're playing in a live space, it's someone who's hearing you for the first time who actually gets to listen to you for an hour. And that's like really where the magic happens, where someone has that real feeling of discovery that, like, I don't feel like you can really make happen in the catchy 15-second kind of way. Like it's something that naturally happens over a bit of a longer period of time for me. And that happens live at concerts.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the live? Right? I would imagine so.
Oh, it's the reactions that you like. I call it blowing people's minds. We like where you do a song or you play a set and someone's never heard you before, and they just turn around and go like, "Wow!" Like what? I'm all of a sudden I feel like I'm a part of something, and like a magic happens. And you yourself, who's been slogging it out at home, you're like, "Oh my God, maybe there's something magical about all this stuff that I've been working on. Like maybe it's has this power that I could have only imagined." Mm-hmm. And then until you see it happen, and then you're like, wow, this is really cool. And I feel, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Mike, like, that's that X factor though, right? That's where, like I've got a couple of friends, like a good friend of mine is Luke Michaud, who's our first guest on the show from Big Wiggle and Highland Studios here in Windsor. And Luke says it's like when you hook them in something and you've got the audience sort of in the palm of your hand, right? Where it's like that unspoken vibe that's going. And I think there's something to be said for that, right? It's like that adrenaline factor that that you're connecting with them on a whole new level. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, once you kind of see that, oh, they like that one, maybe I'll slightly change the order of my songs and I'll put this one next. Or you can start sharing the energy of the evening rather than kind of going completely off script. And when there's that interplay between the audience, it's more fun for everyone.
So, Crissi, I saw that online that you were getting ready for a gig over the last little bit, and you said you had those butterflies in your stomach. You still get those butterflies? Yeah.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. But that's what makes me practice. If I don't get nervous, then I probably wouldn't prepare for things. The gig was it was a taping of the Jeff Burrows 24-hour drum marathon, which is going to be airing next week, I think, actually. And yeah, that was our first time like going and playing on a stage in a club. I mean, it was a closed venue, so there wasn't really anybody listening, except they did have some doors open, so there was like the patio crowd could kind of listen in. So it was just like a taste of what it's going to be like to be back again.
And you've been practicing and then sort of owning your skills over the last like year, 18 months, right? I mean, does your daughter show musical inclination? Is she into it? Are you kind of gauging her yet at this point?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. She's just been around musical instruments all the time, and not just like the toy versions, but also like there'll just be a guitar laying around and she'll just come and like play and just improvise. For a while, Mike had actually set up one of our rooms as like a jam room, and he would go in there and noodle around on guitar, and she would grab a microphone and just start like improvising songs. They were really cool. Like some of them were actually like really jazzy every now and then. It was really like, what is happening?
It was a bit like, it was better than this, but it was kind of like a monkey on a typewriter situation where like she's singing these things that don't make sense, but then all of a sudden she'll sing this magical line, and Crissi and I go like, "What? Did you just hear what you just sang?
Can I steal that?"
Like we're like,
"That sample it, right? Yeah,
yeah.
That was a great melody that she just sang like out of nowhere." So it's cool to see it evolve.
So hopefully she picks up the vibe, right? She picks
if
up
she
the talent.
likes it.
If she likes it.
Yeah. It seems like she has like a good sense for singing and timing, and she is good at like matching our pitch and stuff, and it does seem to come pretty naturally to her. So it's really cool.
So we are talking with a couple of great musicians here on the show today. We've got lots of new music to talk to you, our guests, about. We have Crissi Cochrane and Mike Hargrave, Soul Brother Mike, on the show with us today. You can leave a comment on our feeds. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and you can check them out on their websites as well. We'll continue to promote those throughout the show today. Let's rewind the clock here, back to 2017. The first time I actually got to hear you perform live was, shameless plug, at the Windsor Essex County Humane Society's 2017 gala at Caesars Windsor. And I remember introducing you and then getting off the stage, and Jim Crichton was there. And we both had a drink, and we were like, wow, she's really, really good. Like,
that's
really
amazing.
Good. I was impressed. Like, Greg Gannett from the River was there too. I think all of us huge supporters of the Humane Society. And at the time, I was really happy that the Humane Society was able to secure a talent like yourself. But, performing for something like that, and I'm sure you've done many events over the years too. Tell me about what goes through your mind as you're getting ready to play a charity gala.
Oh, I love playing those kinds of events because they're so glamorous. I just get really excited about getting to dress up and go play music. It feels like something out of a movie. I just love it so much. And to know that there are so many amazing people in the crowd too. Like, it's a good opportunity to meet people in the community, and it's good for me as a musician to get to make connections.
Different crowd at the gala, or no? Would you say it depends on what gala it is, what event it is? You kind of
I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's always like a bit of overlap in circles in Windsor, which I think is super, super cool, that you'll see people, at a gala, and then you'll see them at like a yoga retreat gig too. So yeah, it's cool.
And then Mike, I had the pleasure to work with you for a brief stint at the CBC, 2017 to about 2019. That was really cool. It was cool to know you. I knew you through the music scene, but it was cool to work with you one-on-one at the CBC, because I remember during our story meetings, you would always have some really cool ideas and really great story ideas to kind of put out there for possible coverage too.
Yeah, I always enjoyed working with you there. For people that don't know, I work part-time at CBC. I don't know what they call that, backfill.
Yeah.
Fill in,
Yeah. Fill in. Yeah. So, but it's always fun going in there. I've actually been there a lot more this year, but it's always fun dropping in there for a couple weeks and seeing what everyone does in there and being a fly on the wall. And it's nice that they'll listen to me when I speak.
When you pitch, right? When you bring stuff to the show. Yeah. My only regret, working alongside you is not actually working directly with you. I know that certainly from a television perspective, I know you were doing a lot of stuff with radio at the time, but it was always good when we could cross paths, especially around Sounds of the Season too. So, it's cool to have you guys on the show, because we've got so much great music to talk about here, so much cool things to talk about over the next little bit. Let's talk about, Mike, you've got some really cool stuff happening in the next week and a half. You're going to be dropping some serious music, right? You've got a brand new album, Headspace. Tell me about the concept of this.
So I think that I feel like a quote that summarizes it well is a Nietzsche quote of that in idleness, psychology begins. And I think we all felt that, like on all of our idleness sitting around during the pandemic, we've like had to go through extra psychological problems, or we're forced to confront things with ourselves. So I felt like we were all stuck in this headspace. And so a lot of the songs have to do with that. Just, dealing with, I don't know, different problems that we've been dealing with over the past year and a half. So I'm excited to put it out, but at the same time, I'm also excited to move on from it. Because as much as it's an upbeat album and you're going to get a good feeling listening to it, it does have that underneath it a bed of those problems that we're all facing right now.
When you say problems, do you find that these are problems that people are going to relate to? You're hoping through the music, like things that we've collectively experienced through the last 18 months?
I hope so. The first track on the album is called If We Can Be Friends. And it's all about stop being so sectarian and dividing each other up into little camps and groups, and let's just be friends. Don't tell me what side of an aisle you're on. It doesn't matter. And actually, I feel like we've connected that way over at CBC as well. That I always viewed you as a very independent-minded person. And even me stepping in there as a backfill, you kind of knew that I had an independent life outside of CBC. And there was that sort of shared understanding. And I feel like that's something that I try to carry with all my relationships in life, is just understanding that every different person is their own person, and not to be so quick to judge. I think overall as a person, I am like a judging type of person, but I work really hard to try to be more perceptive and to take my time before I make a call and get to know someone before I label them.
Well, God bless you for saying that, Mike. I mean, I mean, it's a different world, right? I've said this on the show. I mean, launching this show, this has been something that I've been wanting to do since I left you folks at the CBC in 2019. And I finally decided this year, I said to my wife, Carrie, to hell with it. I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to pretend. I mean, we're very positive on this show, but I'm not going to pretend that the world is not in a very dark place right now. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Mike. I mean, it's less, I just want people to feel that, yes, there are terrible things that are happening, but how we start to heal and move forward is understanding from both sides of the fence, right? Like, you have to, in my opinion, reach over with that olive branch and realize that people walk in different shoes. And, how can we make this work collectively as a generation for your daughter, and certainly for my son, when the three of us are long gone from this, whatever's on the next side, and our kids are our age doing what they need to do to clean up this world. It's like, I think there needs to be a lot less judging, right? So I love the fact that you're touching base on that. Do you dive further into more issues and different things that you've seen over the last year and a half that have that sort of social context with it?
Well, like, one of the tunes is called Get My Heart Back to You. That's the second track. And I think you can maybe relate to this. And Crissi will too. It's about being stuck inside with your kids and dealing with all that, but still trying to have a relationship with your partner, which is really hard to do when you're like parenting 24/7. So that song is just about making time for each other, which, I don't know what the divorce rate is at right now. It's crazy.
It's
was
just
higher
as a result of the pandemic. Yeah, people haven't spent this much time together in their relationships, so it creates pressure.
So,
it's a bit of a wake-up call for, I think, a lot of folks, right?
Yeah.
We're very blessed that we're happy together. Yeah. But we see it out there that people are going through these tough times. So that's sort of another problem. So Get My Heart Back to You is about kind of rekindling that and just taking some time to make sure that that's still something strong in your life.
And you guys are doing that, right? You're making sure that you're making time for each other,
yeah.
Despite being parents and musicians, right?
Yeah, we try to. Yeah,
you have to, right? You've got to. I say to my wife all the time, I'm like, like today she was out, she got her nails done and all that stuff, and I was at home working from home, and we just put Liam into daycare, so he's enjoying it. He's getting exposed to kids, having fun with his classmates, but it's like, you do you, I do me, and then we come together and we're able to, for us, a date night now is like, if we're lucky to get out we go sit on a social distance patio somewhere, or we'll watch Loki on Disney Plus or something like that. Like
Nice.
that's our big date night. But I think it's important, right? You've got to make sure that
Mhm.
you make time for each other, especially if you're in a relationship, to work. What else are you dropping on the album?
Geez, I'm going to play later one song from the album called Whenever Love's Around. And I think it might be my favorite song on the album. I'm not really marking it as the third single yet, but in my mind it is. And it's sort of just making the observation that whenever love is around, we notice something, right? We notice the good pop out. We notice things are more comfortable. Our heart rates are more relaxed. So it's kind of just saying, instead of focusing so much on like love and songs as we typically do, it's kind of saying, what's obvious when that is happening.
It's just like a really beautiful love song that I feel like has a broad perspective. It kind of makes you think about like your love in the context of all time and space. And I don't know, there's something like meditative and really relaxing about it.
There's a lot of like quantum physics.
Yeah, there's actually the lyrics touch on, yeah.
I was getting really into quantum physics. And I think there's like an old philosopher from a long time ago that basically said there's two forces in the world, love and strife. Love is what brings things together, and strife is what breaks things apart. And so you kind of see all throughout the universe things coming together and coming apart, and just kind of saying that it's, with it being so vast and so big, that no dream is too big or too small, and anything can happen in such a vastness.
I love you guys. You like, you're talking about this music and I'm just like zoning out. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be so good. Like it's I love the passion behind it. You can tell it comes from a place of like the inside, right? Like whatever you're drawing from is coming from inside. And you're gonna perform that? Is that the one that we're gonna do today, Mike?
Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna do, yeah.
Okay. We've got a couple of people in the live stream commenting, including Debbie, saying, I'd love to hear these guys sing. So
yeah,
I don't know. Do you want to kick it off and then we'll get to Crissi over the next little bit? Do you want to, Mike, jam for us?
We can get right. No need to introduce. We just did it. And yeah, I got the guitar right here. I can just drop it in.
Okay.
Crissi just has to
back. I have to move an animal.
Well, I'm going to give you guys the full screen here so the folks at home can enjoy this. Okay. So here we
go. Okay.
All right, here we go. This is called Whenever Love's Around. Living your life all in one moment of time. It's all that there is, yes, it's all that you'll find. So you don't need to think that you're living too fast or too slow. A message in a bottle made for every soul, washing up each day upon a different shore. So you don't need to think that you're living too fast or too slow. We live in a moment. I don't doubt you see it exactly like it is. What is scarce and what abounds whenever love's around. And it all derived from just a moment of light, expanded to become an inconceivable size. So there's no such thing as a dream too big or too small. And it's just a pocket, some cosmologists say. There could be so many more, just so much further away. So there's no such thing as a dream too big or too small. We live in a moment, and I don't doubt you see it exactly like it is. What is scarce and what abounds whenever love's around. Yeah. don't doubt you'll see it exactly like it is. What is scarce and what abounds whenever love's around. And I don't doubt you'll see it exactly like it is. What is scarce and what abounds whenever love's around. Yeah. I love it when your love's around. I love it when your love's around. Woo, baby, baby. Woo. Yeah, I love it when your love's around.
Oh my God. Somebody get me a towel. That was good. Like, oh my God.
A towel.
A towel. I'm sweating. It was good. It was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that one.
Oh my God.
Thank
It's
you.
so
You guys are, like,
pretty.
so good. Like, I got like goosebumps. I get goosebumps as we go. You guys are so good together. Like,
Aw.
please tell me, like, this is like going to be like more of a collab, right? Like, I know you guys have your own things going on, but like, you guys are going to continue to do stuff, right?
Yeah. Whenever we get a chance, I feel like if we're in the same room, like I don't think we originally were gonna play on each or sing on each other's tunes tonight, but I was like, we're both in the room. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Like, it's easy,
Just
you
do
know. Like I sang on the recording of it, and we do have a duet together on his record too. So
Yep.
yeah, we're
So-
always singing together when we can.
I was going to say, yeah, she is on the album. And then, yeah, we do have a duet as the last track. So,
That's amazing. You got to be pumped for the 9th, right? So this all drops on the 9th?
yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I put out the album. I've tried something new, Arms. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay. Well, okay.
I put out the album early on my website
Yes.
and had people, if people wanted to buy it, they could get it from me, I think as of like March 12th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
But-
when the first single
But
came
now
out.
it's getting to streaming services where it's like sort of everywhere, and I'll make my 0.001 cent a listen or whatever. That's fine. But yeah, I was trying to game the system a little bit and see if putting it out early on my website would would help build incentive for purchasing it, and it went well. I had a lot of people pick it up. But yeah, as a result, I've been sitting on it, I feel like, all year
You're
long.
kind of building anticipation, right? Hopefully there's that word of mouth, right? Because then it goes to that fan base where you've got your loyal fans, and then they listen to it and they're like, oh man, Soul Brother Mike dropped this and this is awesome. And you got to hear this. And then it kind of hopefully permeates. And
That's my hope. I had a few supporters, but I'd love to see more artists do something like that to get back at that system.
Yeah, I feel like we need to find ways to like re-incentivize paying for recordings again, because everyone's just used to paying $10 a month for unlimited music, and I feel like it's kind of created a culture overall of not valuing music as much as it ought to be, and it makes being a musician a precarious living. So anytime we can find a possible solution that'll motivate people to actually pay for music, I think that's a really clever thing to do, where you can get it early, you can get it right away, kind of thing. If you get it from the artist, or if you want to hear it on a streaming platform, maybe you may have to wait a little bit longer to get the access.
Yeah, they're slow over there at Google.
right. Pretend that it's them.
shake their fist. Damn you, Google. Damn you all.
They're so slow.
They're so slow in this digital
We've
age.
got it over here. We've got it here first.
Oh gosh.
That's right. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about that before we get into Crissi's latest project, right? And we talk a little bit more about the concept of music in this digital age. Do you find, an honest question, do you find it is an oversaturation of selection for folks nowadays? Like you say the $10 a month for Spotify or whatever. Like I do $7.99 for Amazon Music, right? Because I've got smart speakers all over my house, and when I'm out on the back deck, I'm like Alexa, play yada yada yada, and I can listen on my back patio. But when it comes to rediscovering music, it's almost like I can't decide what to listen to. You know what I mean? Because I've got so much options for me. Your thoughts on that? Is it too much, or is selection not an issue?
You can answer that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, like I mostly am listening to music on Spotify these days. So I do find it can be challenging to find new music if I'm not like actively looking for it, because, you know, I'll just pick like a playlist that's just like soul classics or something, or jazz cafe brunch or something. But if I'm trying to actually make a playlist, like I tried to make a playlist for myself of like high energy music for working out too. And I actually discovered a lot of really cool stuff that way. So, I mean, there are a lot of really great, like the algorithm, it really helps you find stuff that you'll like once it kind of builds its profile on you. But like as an independent artist, it's like so hard to get any advantage from the algorithm. So I feel like when I was doing numbers on Spotify several years ago, I feel like it wasn't as saturated then. Like I feel like what happened with me getting a song in a popular playlist just like doesn't seem to happen now, or maybe it's just incredibly rare that it ever happens. So it's kind of become like a weird side business. Like people will approach independent artists and say like, if you pay money, I'll put you in my playlist for like a couple of weeks or something. Like it's all like paid for. It's really weird. It's a
very
weird
shady,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Like you got some guys like, oh, I got a playlist, just pay me some money and you can, it's weird.
Yeah, or they'll say like, "Oh, you can pay me and I'll pitch it to a bunch of playlists." And then how do you actually know that they're doing that? Or like there's a lot of really shady little businesses that have popped up of people trying to take advantage of artists who are trying to get heard.
If I can step in on it, I feel like
absolutely.
my perspective is that I really hope that like conscious consumerism comes up and that like people start to shop local with their music. And globalism is kind of cool that we can get anything in the world for the lowest price. But it's like, it's not a great way to be per se. And so what we try to do with like our label Soul City Music Co-op too is aggregate some of that talent that we have locally too, so that hopefully as maybe that trend picks up, that people start paying attention to saying, what should I listen to? You should start with stuff in your neighborhood. Start with people on the local scene to see who you like here. Because you never know, maybe you're the biggest fan in the world of someone who lives up the street from you, who will play at your club and who you can go see and talk to, and
who will come sing in your backyard at a birthday party. Like, who knows?
Yeah, all kinds of things, right? And just like knowing that when you pay to go see that local sound person, you're also helping out that local bartender and that person working the door and the guy working the soundboard. And the more that people do, music's one of those things that you can buy locally. Not everything you can get locally. I have to buy things online all the time that it's the only way I can get that particular thing that I need. But music, we're so blessed. We have all this music locally that you can consume.
And so many different genres. And because it's such a multicultural city, I feel like there's a lot of world music here too. Like I always wished that there was like a database that could aggregate all of Windsor's music, so you could just look stuff up and discover music that way. Because I just feel like there are so many little pockets of different styles of music. There's something for everyone.
It's interesting you should say that too, Crissi, because I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends in the real estate industry, specifically about Windsor being very much growing and very different than it used to be. Geez, like I'm born and raised here, right? I grew up downtown Windsor, moved out to South Walkerville, Remington Park area. We're in Amherstburg now, my wife and my son and I. And I mean, Windsor has changed so much in the last 5 to 10 years. And firmly, I believe for the good. But it's a different Windsor, right? And it's nice to see that we have, I guess, a different perspective of not only culture, but again, that music. And, you know, through the co-op, is that an opportunity for you guys to look at, you know, what's really resonating with audiences locally and try to rediscover some of those musicians, or I guess discover musicians who might otherwise be flying under the radar?
The co-op is sort of an experiment where we all just say, when we have an idea about something, let's just sort of share it with each other. And so the information that we all kind of struggle hard to research and find out is gathered together, and we save time. Instead of everyone all researching the same things, someone can kind of present, oh, I found a really great resource on this. Mm-hmm. And it's saved us all a lot of time. We found each other opportunities through it. We have a sort of like gig cancellation. We're sort of like a mini union in a way, I first described ourselves as like a solidarity union, which is like workplace action kind of attitude of like, hey, we're all, here. We should probably use our collective voices for something, even if it's just to collect them for the sake of seeing what happens.
But it is like a small group because there's only so much that we can really manage on our own. I wish that there was something in Windsor that's kind of like a secret dream of mine. It's not so secret if I say it here, but I always thought it'd be cool if there was like a Windsor music office someday that could connect everybody, And I feel like Soul City isn't quite that because we're a not-for-profit, and so we're just like a bunch of friends basically who are helping each other out and kind of creating a brand that helps us cross-promote, and kind of hoping that model gets picked up by other little pockets in the music community or in other kinds of arts communities. But yeah, I have this dream of one day there being something big for Windsor that connects all the music here.
I want to get to more of Windsor in the future through your lens, both of your lenses here in the next little bit. We have Crissi Cochrane and Mike Hargrave, Soul Brother Mike, on the show with us today. You can comment in the live stream if you're watching the rebroadcast. All of the information to find out more about these two talented performers in the show notes for the podcast. You can also download this podcast on Spotify as well. Let's talk about another dream of yours, right? An animated music video. Crissi, this is kind of cool. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so I don't know how I came to have this dream of wanting an animated music video, but I thought it was something I would never be able to achieve because animation is so expensive and it takes a really long time. And as an independent musician without much of a budget, I just thought that wasn't going to happen. But there was an upcoming local grant deadline, and I thought maybe I should just try and see if I can put everything together. So I kind of put out some feelers, and Delaney Baudouin was recommended to me. She's an animation student who is from Windsor, and I actually had met her dad once before when I was playing a gig at Walkerville Brewery where he was working. So it's kind of a cool small world Windsor moment. And I reached out to her, and she loved the concept that I had. And so we've gone ahead, and we're in the middle of production now. She started back at the beginning of May, and it's actually the co-op credit for her animation degree. So it's turning out so cool, and I'm so excited because you can do things in animation that you can't do in live action. And I feel like our concept is really whimsical and fun, and I can't wait to see it come to life.
So this will be ready to go, September, you were thinking?
Yeah, we are hoping for September 21st as the date that the video will premiere. And yeah, right now we're just in the crowdfunding stage throughout the summer. So we had a goal of $3,000, which we reached in the first 10 days, which was crazy. That's never happened before. So
that's awesome.
I thought in a pandemic, people weren't going to want to fund something like this, but no, everyone's been super supportive and awesome. And I think it helps that our perks are really cool too. It's like prints of art from the video, like beautiful backgrounds and stuff that she has created. And the video has like a sewing theme to it. So one of the items that we're giving away as a perk is a handkerchief that's being screen printed locally, and I'm finishing the edges of it because I love sewing myself. So yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. So September, this is going to be debuting. I mean, she's got to be pumped for this too, right? You said she's a student, so she's probably like, this is a pretty cool project to be involved in.
I hope so. I think so. I think she seems really excited about it. I know that there's lots of different things that you can do for a co-op placement, but this she's making this project as her first full-length animated project. So yeah, I think she's really excited about it too.
So you've got the choice of doing this animation-wise, right? And then you've done stuff before, like you said, live action. What's next? Do you plan on doing more of these, or like this is a foot in the water to see how it goes, or?
I don't know. I mean, it really does depend on funding because it takes so long. Like, actually, Mike and I made a couple of music videos ourselves last year, and I think they turned out really great, and I loved doing them. And it's great to know that we can do that in-house and really quickly too. Like Mike would film like 2-3 half days and then one day of editing and it's done. Like that, you can't beat that. Like an animated video takes like at least all summer, if not multiple seasons to do. So I feel like it's a really rare thing to get to make one of these. So I don't know that I will bank on doing too many more in the future, but if it happens, and that's awesome.
I feel like I got to jump in and say the one thing that I really hope we can do more with I don't want to push her too hard with the animation, but have you seen those, what are they called? They're like, it's like a photo, but it's moving just a little bit.
A visualizer. It's like a new kind of music video that's just like, you know, a loop basically. And you can do it with like, you know, clips of video footage, or you can get like someone to animate just a loop of something cool, like a
I've seen it with Lo-Fi Girl. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a YouTube channel.
I'm writing that down, Lo-Fi.
And it just like plays like smooth hip hop.
Just cool background
kind
music.
Kind of elevator music, kind of.
For studying.
Nice. For studying and stuff, but it always just has one animated scene that's very short, like very little
like
things
10, 15 seconds,
and
but
it just loops.
Really relaxing, like a curtain moves and a cat jumps down and like a bird flies by. Like it's just really simple and relaxing.
I would love to do some animatics.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And they take less time.
and with these YouTube channels, what they keep this on, right? It's sort of like background music, is that they're doing, right? Is studying?
Yeah, it's like yeah, and I think it's actually sometimes they are like a broadcast, kind of like a live stream sort of thing sometimes. But, or yeah, you could just like, you know, on demand, grab a video and it just plays for hours and hours.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome stuff. And now you got an upcoming single too, right? This is, talk a little bit more about, this is coming up, soon, right? Upcoming single, Why, September.
Yeah, so that's the song and the video. So I'm really excited about this song because Mike normally has been doing all of my production, but this time we actually also roped in our label mate, Dane Roberts. So he has added some of the instrumentation on the tune, and it's really cool to kind of have his touch on it because he's a really brilliant producer and arranger in his own right. So it's really cool to get to collaborate with him on this song. And yeah.
So what are you going to play for us tonight?
I'm going to play that song. I'm going to play Why.
Oh, okay. I'm down. Okay, so I will let you guys take it away. And I'm going to yank off the stream.
Okay. We're going to shimmy around here.
Yeah, I'm going to tuck into the corner.
Okay. And I'm going to move this maybe just a hair this way. All right. Okay. So this is my song, Why. Why do you have to come at the wrong time? In the starlight, there were tears in my eyes. Summer on the mountain, my heart in the ground. You and the shovel and the dirt raining down. Cover the bruises with your lips on mine. One moment in the shadow before you leave me behind. I don't wanna be your friend. I wanna be your everything. Tear down your walls, answer my calls. Why can't this be the beginning of something special? Something special, something. Don't need a reminder, I'm not your type. You and the May Queen, me and my sewing machine. But did you ever tell her who you used to be? You would never need to explain yourself to me. So I'll keep waiting, though I say I won't. Boy, I know my fate and it's not being alone. I don't wanna be your friend. I wanna be your everything. Tear down your walls, answer my calls. Why can't this be the beginning of something special? Something special, something. You're everything. Tear down your walls, answer my calls. Why can't this be the beginning of something special? Something special, something. Why can't this be something special? Something special, something. Why,
So beautiful.
Thank
You
you
guys
so
are
much.
so good.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad
That
you
was
liked
so.
it.
No, it was like awesome. Are you kidding me?
Yay.
Like you guys have such a good riff together. I mean, it helps that you're together.
Yeah.
I think no, really, honestly,
go
like
for
you
more.
have such a good. I don't know what it is. It's again the X factor too. You guys are just in the moment. Like all the comments we're getting in the feed here, are just beautiful song. You guys are fantastic.
Yay.
I can't wait to see the video. The animated video is going to be awesome.
Oh, I have to tell you, I always forget until I'm actually playing the song. Like, it's gonna make
Yeah.
people cry. It makes me
Really?
cry. Like sometimes when I'm playing the song, I kind of see the video in my head and it makes me choke up. Like right now we have just an animatic to watch, which is basically the storyboards set to music with just a little bit of animation. And even that makes me cry. Like there's this one beautiful moment towards the end and then a very sad one right after. So it's like if the beautiful moment doesn't make you weep from its beautifulness, like the sad one is the one that will get you. So it's very emotional and powerful. The song is all about missed connections and unrequited romance and, you know, trying to make it work, but things always getting in the way of a romance. And I feel like at the end, when you hear the why, the different parts coming together, singing over top, it's just like, it's like an emotional landscape. I feel like anytime someone is saying the word why over and over and over, like you just know that something like awful has happened. So it kind of, it kind of taps into this really interesting emotion that is really cool to see with the video.
It's an emotional journey.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be epic. So thank you so much to the both of you for, it's one thing to come on a live stream like this. And it's funny when I book guests on the show, ever since I started doing this a month ago, they're like, it's live. I said, yeah, 100% live. I'm like, I'm not canning anything. I refuse to can. I mean, I like to do it in the moment and, you know, seat of your pants, let's go. But I think it's another level when you're able to perform in a situation where it is live, but you guys just sounded so good. Like I really mean that.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you.
I think you guys both are absolutely incredible too. So, shameless plug. Like I said, I knew how good Mike was. I knew how good, Crissi, you are too. But I can't tell you on behalf of the Windsor Essex County Humane Society how grateful we are to the both of you, certainly for joining us for what has been a really tough year for the society. Like I've come on board since April of this year, and I've actually worked with the Humane Society for quite some time in my previous life at CTV. And I know Melanie and the team, and like any other nonprofit in the area, they've had to continue to pivot. And in 2020, they had their gala set to go for I think a night or the week after everything shut down. And they had to cancel it. And the gala is one of our largest fundraising events. And, as we move forward in the next couple of years, we're going to have to try to pivot things. So, we came on board and I'm like, okay, like we've got to do something. So we decided to do this Doggy Bag Delivery, which is essentially I call a fancy meal that gets delivered to your doorstep. And that's coming up on July 22nd. And it's a way for us to re-engage with our volunteers. A lot of our volunteers we haven't seen since March of 2020. So volunteers will be joining myself and a number of the event staff, and we'll be going out delivering these meals. And then we're going to be asking folks to enjoy these meals from Metzel Ristorante. You get a 3-course meal with 3 bottles of wine from Peely Island Winery and some really great gear in the doggy bag. And then we're asking people to tune in at 7:45-ish to our live stream that'll happen on the Humane Society's Facebook. And you can tune in even if you didn't buy a meal. Learn a little bit more about what we're gearing up towards. And we're going to have some live music from Miss Crissi Cochrane. So I'm really excited about that. And thanks for doing that too. Like I told our board of directors and our executive director that you were coming on board, and everyone is just ecstatic because they remember the fantastic performance you did in 2017. And I mean, thank you for, donating your talent and time to help us out.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
And you guys are fur folks too, right? Like
Yes.
you've got a feline friend.
Yes, I brought my 2 cats from Nova Scotia when I moved here 10 years ago. So we've got 2 aging cats who are very, very big personalities, let's say.
So you
but
get
we
it.
love them.
You guys get it. The whole pet, the pet and animal welfare and second chances. So we appreciate it. So, so you'll be playing a song, and you will also be hearing from our executive director and some of our folks who have adopted animals through the Windsor Essex County Humane Society. So that's on July 22nd for those who are messaging us on the feed asking where can we see the live performance. So you've got some fans now, I think, from this too, wanting to see the live show too. So that's exciting.
Awesome.
From a Windsor lens, you were talking about, doing live gigs and getting back into the community a bit and finding a little bit more of that connection when you are out in the community and doing these, live performances. I go back to, I would say, early 2000s when there was a lot of live venues in the city. There was a fair amount. I think of like the Chubby Pickle as sort of that hard rock place where people used to be able to perform. And what's your take on the status of the Windsor music scene in terms of those live venues? I know we're in the pandemic, and I know that, things are hopefully getting back to normal. Would you like to see more live music? Where are your favorite live music locations to play here in the area?
There aren't that many. It has become less over the years. Fog Lounge deserves a ton of recognition for just continuing to fight on and really represent our community in a positive and vibrant way. So I give Tom Lucier and Fog Lounge a ton of credit. Beyond that, there aren't a whole lot of strictly venues. There are a few restaurants that would typically have entertainment or bars that would maybe do that, but very few that really promote themselves as a venue first. So it'd be really great to see that. I mean, I've always dreamed of opening a venue. That'd be so cool, but I don't have the time right now, Arms.
Too many dreams.
I'd love to. Too many dreams right now. But,
I tell you what,
but there needs to be more.
True story. Actually, a long time ago, before I ever decided to get into radio and TV, this was like back in 2001. I actually wanted to open up my own bar. And
let's do it, Arms. You and me.
Mike, you say the word. Carrie right now, my wife is watching. She's like, I'm going to hear what? But my dad, no, seriously, I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, I kind of want to open up a bar. And he's like, that's not happening. Like, you're not doing it. He's like, go to school for something. So I went to school for radio, and here we are back 2021 later. But I always liked the concept of live music, right? Like I go back to, and I'm a sucker for Windsor history. When I was at the CBC, I'd always used to troll in the CBC archives for the old footage stuff. And we used to, even way back when it used to be CKLW TV at the broadcast location that CBC's at now. But it always used to amaze me, just the stories I would hear about the caliber of music that would come through not only CBC's location where they're at now, but the different venues that were in Windsor that used to house local music. Like you could go out for, and this is something I don't know if there's a market, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you could go out for like a dinner, get dressed up real nice, and then go see folks like yourself. And that's an evening, right? And then you'd have dinner and dancing. I'm just surprised. I don't want to sound like I'm old man Arms here, but I'm surprised there isn't more of those options in a more contemporary space. Maybe there will be in 2021 and beyond. I don't know. Do you think there would be a market for something like that?
I personally think it will come back. I think that the wave of connecting over technology is, it's never going to go away. But I feel like all this time spent over tech makes us want to reconnect in person with people after the pandemic's over.
Yeah, I feel like people are really going to appreciate being able to do the things we used to do,
I hope so. I mean, it's like you guys said, it's a double-edged sword. Like I can take meetings, like I can get up for work a half an hour before I'm supposed to start and make a coffee, have breakfast with my son, and hop on meetings, and then log off and go upstairs and have dinner. But then, it can hop on at 8 o'clock at night and start working away. But there's something to be said about that personal connection too. And I mean,
Mhm.
I would love to see just, more music festivals happen in the area. Like there used to be quite a few, even if you go back the last 10 years. Like there was like Beaverfest down at the riverfront. I know Burrows, and I say Burrows because I know him, but Jeff is a solid dude. We're actually going to have, knock on wood, Jeff on the show pretty soon.
Awesome.
Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I'm really pumped because like I kind of nerd out about Jeff Burrows because like Burrows to me, when I was growing up, Tea Party was like it. When I was like the long Eddie Vedder hair at Holy Names High School and the flannel 90s, like Tea Party was it, man. And to have Jeff kind of lead the charge locally with some of that music that's coming out is pretty amazing. But I mean, would you like to see more of the type of, music festivals come to the city of Windsor, something that's a little bit more locally grown?
Absolutely. I feel like there are so many festivals, but not too many that incorporate local music. Sometimes they'll draw in really great acts from, Toronto or from the States, and it's really amazing to have the opportunity to see really world-class talent, but it's really great too to have the local artists. I always feel like it'd be amazing to see a music festival in Willisted Park or something, something that's really local centric.
What about you, Mike?
I hope that the co-op in time can host our own festival. I think that's actually reasonable, unlike the bar idea.
Yeah.
But
Damn it.
sorry, we got to come up with the bar name at least first. You and I.
Oh, you would leave it to me. I'll think of something. I'm telling you.
I'm thinking Suds and Studs.
What happens at this
We're gonna have to
bar?
be- Suds and Suds. We're going to have to be very clear on what kind of bar that,
Yeah.
what kind it is, right?
Okay, we'll have to talk more after the show about that one.
Absolutely,
But, we'll put a pin in it.
Okay.
But Soul City Music Co-op could host a music festival, which I think would be really great. We have like all the artists together. It would just be teaming up with, maybe some food vendors, maybe someone like Windsor Eats. It could be as simple as a partnership like that, and a really cool music festival could be born. So good things around the corner. We just have to dream them up and then make them happen.
Yeah.
There you go. Soul City Brews. There's a comment from the feed.
Soul City Brews.
That's good.
Listen, I've got Adriano on next week, and this is going to be sort of like that's going to be an amalgamation of a bromance and other things that are going to happen. Because Adriano is actually we became actually great friends, and I know he's had to do a lot of pivoting for the tourism sector over the last 18 months. But I'm going to throw it at him because I love to throw like crazy ideas at him and see how it goes. Because I love the Willisted idea, because I know Windsor Eats did do the beer fest
Yeah.
at Willisted. I remember I was lucky enough one year to actually tap the keg live. I think that was probably one of my favorite highlights at CTV, is we were able to tap it live. And it was a party afterwards, I'll tell you that. When the newscast was done, that was a party. But
Awesome.
it was great to have that like local music there. But what a backdrop, right? And then you could even tap into the Walkerville area. I know that they're, again, struggling like a lot of folks are right now. But I mean, there's so many great eateries that you could pair up with there as well. So, and great musicians too, right, in the Walkerville area.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of great shop local everything.
Yeah.
It's bringing it together and letting people go nuts.
Yeah.
And have a good time.
So a couple minutes left to go here on the show. And I appreciate you guys spending the Friday night with me, because I know you've got the peanut at home, and, this was, an ask. Anytime I ask new parents to come on, like, or if toddlers, like, can you come on for an hour? Really, an hour? Do you know what an hour's worth to me? But I appreciate it. And I'm certainly our viewers, and hopefully folks who are watching the rebroadcast after the fact appreciate your time too. But I mean, how do you feel about the future generally, 2021 and beyond, here in Windsor? How do you feel about, where we're going? And that can be from a very wide lens as a society, and certainly from maybe even a local lens. How do you feel? We'll start with Mike. How do you feel?
I'm pretty like, I don't talk about politics. I'm not an activist by any stretch, but I do follow it really closely. And there's a lot of like great statistics and polls and things that give me hope that we are moving towards a more helpful society, more collective-minded society around the world. of course, there's always going to be people that are trying to like cut everyone down to get ahead, but they're getting easier to spot, I find, and I think that there's a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope.
I love that. What about you, Crissi?
I don't know. I feel like I don't think about the future a whole lot. I feel like I'm so like ingrained in the day-to-day things of motherhood that I've mostly just been thinking about like what craft can I come up with to entertain Adela tomorrow.
You're a good mom. That's a good mom right there.
I love crafts, so it's like I had a kid just to do crafts with somebody. But I'm really excited about getting to see my family soon. I haven't seen my parents in like 18 months. So I'm just thinking about that kind of stuff in the future. Like I just can't wait to see my friends and hug people and get to spend a lot of time with my family. And like I haven't been out east since before I was pregnant. So I really want to go back there and bring Adela and show her where I grew up and my family cottage and just enjoy motherhood with a growing toddler and maybe have another one before too long.
Oh, God bless you guys. Well, I mean, honestly, so how about this? I don't like to put people on the spot, but let's circle back with you guys like September-ish after hay drops and, is that cool?
Yeah, that would be great. We would love that. This was so much fun. Like, I just feel like this was a fun hangout.
That's all this show is. People are like, I said to my wife, she's like, what are you going to do for a show for now? I'm like, just hang out. People want to see people hang out. You just hang out. Shoot the breeze. What's going on?
Exactly.
Simple as that. Mike, I just wanted to say to you, keep up the great work you guys are doing at CBC. I've always had a passion for, the coverage and the stories that you guys do. Some of my biggest growing experiences were at the CBC. And, one of my biggest regrets, again, is to talk about, how I didn't really have a chance to work with somebody of your talent. So maybe one day in the future, my friend, I mean, we're doing this now, but I wouldn't call this hard-hitting journalism by any means. I just call it like a couple people hanging out. So I appreciate it, Mike.
No, I appreciate this. This to me is it. Getting to hang with you like this and do an awesome podcast. It's super enjoyable on my end. So thank you.
Well, God bless you guys both. Give my best to the little one and keep up doing what you're doing because I think you guys are both incredibly talented and so do the people watching and following along here on tonight's feed. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And all the best with your future guests in the podcast. Keep it rocking.
Yeah. I'm
trying. I promised my wife, she's like, okay, one a week. And now like in the next couple of weeks, I'm doing two. She doesn't know that yet, but it's good. And it's really good because it's reconnecting with folks like you guys that I haven't had a chance to spend some time with and some time and even reaffirming those friendships. So, and it's just like anything I've ever done in my career previously in broadcast is just trying to spread some good news. I mean, that's my whole thing. I built my bread and butter on it for 20 years. It's, putting the good before some of the news because God knows we need it in 2021 and beyond. So
yes.
Anyways, God bless you guys both. Okay. Stay safe and thanks for your time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Appreciate it very much. Mike Hargraves and Crissi Cochrane, who are just fantastic individuals. All of their information you can find in the show notes. And I hope you enjoyed that show because they are just so talented what they do. Crissi is going to be performing live for us for our Windsor Essex County Humane Society big doggy bag delivery gala in a box. So you don't even have to get dressed up. We were joking around. It's nice to get dressed up. You don't have to get dressed up. Wear your sweatpants. Wear a t-shirt. It's all good. You can order your meal. It's a meal for two, gourmet meal for two, 3-course meal, 3 bottles of wine, and you get limited edition Humane Society wine glasses. These are really nice. And they all get delivered right to your door. So that's happening on Thursday, July 22nd. You can order those meals right now at mezzo.ourlocaleats.com. And I tell you what, if you order it today on the show, I will deliver it to your house personally. We are raising funds and awareness for the animals at the Windsor Essex County Humane Society. The live stream broadcast happens at about 7:45 that evening. Crissi Cochrane will be performing live for us. And you'll also hear some really interesting and heartwarming stories about why we need your support at the Windsor Essex County Humane Society. Because I'm telling you, 2022 is going to be a big year for us. I cannot wait to let out of the bag what we've got going on for the Windsor Essex County Humane Society. And it's going to take the whole community to make this happen. So hopefully you can join us for that. And hopefully you can join us next week too. We got a fantastic guest, Mr. Adriano Chodoli from Windsor Eats. My brother from another mother, as I say, is going to be joining us on the program. We got lots to catch up on. He's a great guy, passionate about Windsor Essex County. and he'll be joining us right after 8 o'clock here on the Arms Bumanlag Project. And another plug, we've got some swag for the show, these highly collectible mugs brought to you by Divinal Designs, our merch partner, and proceeds from this are going to go to the Ronald McDonald House here in Windsor Essex at Windsor Regional Hospital and the Windsor Essex County Humane Society. So they are fancy mugs, really good mugs, and they go to support families and pets here in the Windsor area. So that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can get all the past episodes on our YouTube page, or you can search the Arms Bumanlag Project on Spotify. Take care, and we'll see you next week.